Greetings, I am Lies and I use she, her.
And I am Scandal and I use they, them.
And
let's play a game together.
Alrighty,
Yeah.
we have come back. You think I'm trapped? I think you're the only one who can pass between. Ha! Ha!
Ah!
The lamps blaze to life as a rushing sound fills the room. A roar. Just because I don't choose to show myself doesn't mean I can't. I can show myself whenever I want.
Bleh, bleh,
Bleh.
honk.
Bleh. I'm also just like, we still think the devil is a more attractive goat than this goat. How do you have opinions on goat attractives? It's fine.
It's fine.
It's anthro-goat attractiveness, but still I'm just like...
I honestly think like it's pretty fine.
Hi! The devil's prettier than you, really. It's fine. Whenever I want. And you're going to pay for making me do it when I'm still incomplete. The creature's claw flexes around Astra's throat. Though he puts up a struggle, he flashes me a look to stay back. I have thoughts on this, but I don't have thoughts on describing the goat appearing, but that's okay. It's fine. I clench my fist and call out in the dark. Encourage Asra?
Probably encourage Asra?
Encourage Asra.
Because that's how you care.
Kohai would encourage Asra. Like, that one, I would talk about and think about it more, but Kohai would just be like, Asra, you can do it! Kick his goat ass!
But it's...
You're stronger than him, Asra. You think your little master is stronger than... me. Me.
Well,
I'm sorry, goat creeps in all the time. I've got him wriggling like a worm, pinned like a mere bug.
Buggle wuggle?
Yeah, against your portrait.
Still kind of like you just have your arm like tucked up around
You know
under his
what's
chin.
really funny about this is you've got him sandwiched between you right now, basically.
Uh-huh.
You've made
Between a goat
a Lucio
and a flat
You've
place.
made an Astra sandwich out of yourself.
You have.
You have.
Because technically, so the thing is like,
That's...
the sandwich is usually about what's inside
It is. It's a ham sandwich.
So this is an Astra sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pinned like a mere bug. I found a real master here. You could have this too, Asra. You just have to accept him. Have this. Uses his stump to gesture to himself.
This.
Oh, this. Asra, I don't really want to be a goat, thanks.
Thank you. This is not my Arcana.
Aesthetic.
It's not my look.
Yes. Just accept him. I feel like it should be capital him.
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 Yes.
Soon you'll see what I've learned. Everything I've gained. Until then.
Okay, except for the fact that the devil actually wants you back. The devil is actually actively looking for you because you, quote, betrayed him, especially from the other routes. Like, they're pretty consistent, at least about that.
Okay.
That Lucio and the devil are actually not on good terms at all, so either he's bluffing out the ass here, or again, they just can't be consistent.
Or he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Or he's in denial. He could just be in really big denial.
Well, that's also what left me, though, confused, going like, why would have, like, Valdemar at all helped him, like, in Julian's route, now with the other information that I know, of going, like, again, he betrayed basically every single one of the courtiers, because the courtiers are all demons,
Right.
based on what they have said, and so they're all trying to get a piece of Lucio, and it's like, why would you bring him back? To get a piece of him? I mean, he still exists, so you could still technically get a piece of him, and the devil wants him.
I guess. But also, like, everything I've gained. Dude, you're a ghost spirit. What have you gained? A goat.
Honestly, I would love
spirit.
to know. You'd be like, everything that I've gained. Like what?
You mean like ears, horns, and a tail?
Fur?
Fur! A nice...
Fluffy.
A plush fur coat.
Yes.
A beard.
Yes. Long ears.
Yeah, longer ears. Mostly fluff and horns, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
I just want to see him doing this intimidating, I'm yelling in your face speech while his little tail's going wag, 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 because he's excited. I'm winning! Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny actually.
Kohai's standing behind him going, okay, I know this is very serious. I understand Astra's in trouble, even though I'm not talking about it in my internal dialogue. But you know, having him screech off in his villain monologue while his tail's just wagging crazily like that,
It's pretty cute.
kind of cute and funny. Like it's definitely like a contrast between like the mood of what's going on and what I am seeing.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of want to laugh, but also like intervene.
Yeah.
Don't even think about forgetting me.
Says Sephiroth.
Says Kohai, excuse me, the only thing he said definitively about you is that he would never forget you ever. And now
He
the
did.
only thing you tell him to do is that to never forget you ever. Sir, you are like a bad boss, where you promote someone because they're really good at a specific skill, and then you sit there and lecture them that they have to be really good at that specific skill once they're in a position.
Yeah.
Stop that. You're telling him to do only the one thing he promised he would do. Pick something else. Aim higher.
Have bigger goals.
Yeah.
Bigger goats.
Like bigger goats. I think I might like a bigger goat. I'm very confused about this. Having come into my own and realizing I find a couple of the Arcana attractive when only previously I've ever found Astra attractive, I'm a bit confused in this moment, but if I focus on, I don't want you to do what you're doing, maybe I can forget about it.
Yeah.
All right. All at once, the warmth is sucked from the air, and the goat stutters out of existence, like a projector that has turned off.
That's actually pretty cool. That
Yeah,
sounds pretty neat.
That is
actually.
kind of neat, actually. Yeah, I do enjoy. Asra glances at each of us, holding his robe on properly. Is he still pushed up against the wall, against the painting, or did he float down? Did the goat pull him down?
Did he slide down?
Did he slide down?
Or almost fall down?
Goat reaches up and clasps him, and it just because he has to stand like on his hoof toes, slides him down the wall so he can hold him properly by the throat.
I also just like, I love the fact that he grabs him by the throat. You do know, like, throat grabbing is actually incredibly uncomfortable. You're not meant to be hung by the neck until dead.
So here's a thing. Did he just grab him by the throat like, I hold you, like someone grabs your shoulder? Or was he like actually assaulting him in any way? Because Kohai did not react as if Asra was
That's
in
what I
any
mean!
danger.
Like, that didn't make any sense. That's what I was getting to, going like, okay, any amount of grabbing by the throat is bad. Like,
generally, yeah.
Yeah, like
Generally.
that is not very good. Even when you're grabbing yourself. it
Lucio
doesn't matter.
gently lays his hand sensuously around Astra's throat and then speaks to him harshly and then disappears. That was oddly erotic.
decisions.
I am very confused. I'm not old enough for all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Astra glances at each of us, pulling his robe on properly.
Because he was flashing all of us earlier.
Because the most important thing right now is that he somewhat cover his nipples.
Yeah.
It's still
No, I think it
translucent.
was all open.
Oh. The most important thing right now is that he is not as naked as I was back in Muriel's hut.
That was still the funniest goddamn thing. You're just like, this is real awkward. Honey bun. Excuse me.
If you're here and you have not seen the episodes in Muriel's hut where they have to take off their clothes to get dry, and then canonically, Kohai never gets dressed except for to wear Astra's shawl coat scarf
Thing.
It's really funny. It goes on for a while.
It's pretty funny. Yeah. Please tell me who saw that, Nadia.
The Countess looks completely appalled. That does not look appalled to me, but that's okay. Speechless. All the same.
Hang on.
She nods.
Are we going, like, so, doesn't appall mean something very specific?
Appalled is sort of somewhere between, like, disgusted, overwhelmed, distasteful. Like, appalled is I completely disapprove, and also I hated that.
Okay.
In general. Like, appalling behavior. It's extremely off-putting. You
And
totally
very
disagree.
disgusted, yeah.
Yes,
But that's also why I'm like, why would she be, like, disgusted, appalled, put off? Because part of it, I'd be like, wouldn't you be a little bit like, that's a little spooky? The ghost is real. Because again, I'm like, she's not used to that sort of thing, based on my understanding.
And she has very little memory of Lucio. Maybe in this case, it just, seeing and hearing him actually just roused, like, emotional memories in her.
Oh,
and
maybe.
she's just completely appalled that, one, he fucking appeared, and two, he behaved that badly. And she's like, I am sorry I am attached to that thing in any way at all. Maybe it's more like that?
Maybe?
Appalled at her former husband behaving badly in her own palace.
Oh my god! Except that it was his, and he very much seems to have acted in whichever way he wanted. That didn't seem to cause a riot.
All the same, she nods.
Nods.
I saw everything, I assume. Since none of us have talked about what was actually there to see, since I saw something, I assume it's what you saw.
Okay, I actually find that to be very funny, and I've actually pointed this out sometimes when we've even watched movies, where a character going, I saw everything! Okay, but what does that actually mean, what you saw? Which is actually why it's really important to get clarification when you're talking to someone about what they actually, like, understand or saw. So when somebody is asking me, okay, so how do you see it? What did you hear? Because they want to know whether or not what the information they conveyed was picked up on. Right? Or the point of what they were getting at. Saying, I saw everything could have been, I saw Asra raise up into the sky, I didn't see a ghost, I didn't see anything. I just heard a voice and saw Asra get lifted up and saw him get choked out and then drop to the floor and then a wind blew in and it's really fucking cold now.
I was like, there's that. Like, I was just going, some stuff did happen that was very visible. Several varieties. So what did you see? I hope she elaborates after this.
Me too.
She does not.
Okay, never mind.
Based on that, she absolutely does not. So I'm going to say, in the case of, okay, so witness testimony is an important thing in any kind of like,
it is.
Like crime scenario or any kind of like, scenario where you need to know what happened to be able to solve the problem. Even if it's sort of like the machine broke down, what did it do when it broke down? The car broke down, what kind of noise did it make? So your witness testimony is really important to help people understand the situation. And if you say, I saw everything, and they go, great, let's take you to the mechanic shop and you can describe it. And they're like, yeah, the car ran into a tree. And they're like, and? Will the car skid off the road and run into a tree? And? That's what I saw everything. And they're like, that's not all that happened.
Yes, which is actually why taking interviews is very difficult. Because usually people will also focus on typically the thing they think is important, which oftentimes isn't always what's important, and is also sometimes a weird little obscure detail that's like, what?
Oftentimes it's something that affected them strongly.
Yeah.
So the thing that most witnesses remember in any kind of thing is the thing that affected them strongly, and it can also be affected by what they think the person of authority in front of them wants to hear.
Right.
And so there can be a level of like basically authorial, somewhere in there. Authorial intimidation.
Yes.
Where you go, I'm trying to say what they want to hear because I want to be good at talking to the person in charge of me. And so that can be difficult too. And you can even accommodate without really realizing that's what you're doing, or you can feel it but not be able to stop yourself.
Yes. It's also really interesting. So a fun little psychology thing that I learned years ago, and I don't know necessarily if it applies in the same way, but what I had learned was actually that one of the biggest things that people don't remember is actually what color a car is, especially if it's white. So that's specifically a detail that for some reason
a car crashed into the other car. What color was it? And you'll get 4 different reports of what color it was.
Yes.
Yeah. And then sometimes the paint will indicate that it was another color altogether.
Which is really funny.
Which is why videos are really, really valuable.
Yes.
And then you can look at it and go, okay, that's what happened.
Yes.
Anyway, rise and fall. Like
rise
breathing.
And fall, chapter 2.
In
Trace.
and out. In and out. Deep breaths, everyone. Look, it's the ruined portrait. Oh, sorry. I still want to get a closer look at that painting. I freaking love it.
It's really neat looking.
It looks great. I also want to know who the hell it's of. Like, is that back in the day your empress? Like, I want to know, because that person looks compelling and interesting.
Is that the person who used to own the area, I guess? Maybe?
Is that maybe? Is it a relation of Lucio's and he's basically sort of mocking or basically fantasizing his background? In going,
maybe.
Since I don't think he came from that
because we have learned that he basically came out of nowhere. It's not that he has an established background at all.
Yeah, and this looks very sort of, high class of some nature in the painting, especially holding, a fan, having lace and such like that. So perhaps it's fabricating your background. Who knows? I also deeply want someone to play the harp. I've heard people play the piano, but not the harp.
Yes.
I have one character who plays the harp. Please use the thing. The last rays of golden daylight filter into the salon as the Countess, Asra, and I take a moment to gather ourselves. While Asra pours hot tea into her untouched cup, Nadia is deep in thought, in her brow knit with lingering pain.
Yeah, but wouldn't he be pouring tea into her untouched cup because she wouldn't touch it yet because it doesn't have anything in it?
I was going to say...
Is she gonna touch it as soon as he starts pouring? Like, what?
I would say her untouched cup. Had it been full, and she didn't touch it, and he just dumped out the old tea, fling.
That's what I'm wondering. Like,
most people's empty cup is untouched. Yes. Correct.
Yes, you are correct.
It could be
while Asra pours hot tea into the cup in front of Nadia, She is deep in thought, her brow knit with lingering pain.
It could also be trying to suggest that basically her tea has been sitting there for some time, and the cup was not full to the brim, and he's trying to rewarm the tea a little bit with new tea.
Ah, that too.
But that's kind of a... We have no idea how long they've been here. I don't know.
Silly.
It's fine. So, my nightmares are true after all.
How many of them, honey?
All of them. And I've had many. But I've talked about one. But it's several. But it's... Or repeating one, but it's different. So basically one, but many.
Right. Okay.
Yes, it's
yeah,
fine.
I don't understand. It's fine.
Lucio is back, and he has gained some kind of power. Sorry, just... Some kind.
What?
I don't...
That is such a weird extrapolation. I have power! You don't know that. He could have been cursed.
So gained some kind of power. If the curse gave him powers he didn't have before, but being a ghost, I don't think of as giving you more power. Being incorporeal and having to work hard to make yourself appear, I don't really think of as
I guess
power.
unless we're doing like the 13 ghosts.
Or unless we're doing the sort of thing, which I don't actually know what that is.
No,
Right?
it's the movie. Yeah, the one where they all get...
No, I've never seen it.
You really never seen it? Okay, so the 13 Ghosts is
Spoilers, no spoilers.
It's... I guess I have to do spoilers, kind of. Well, so it's a really old movie, I'm sorry. Older. But it's basically just a story about a family that get invited to go to a house where the whole house was rebuilt by a crazy eccentric relative and then has died, and that now the dad, who is a single dad with his 2 kids, has decided to take on this thing because they don't have any money otherwise, right?
Okay,
They're getting
question.
thrown out. And so they get to this place, and then they find out that there are ghosts locked up in the basement.
Okay.
And the ghosts basically have power because they come from certain types of deaths or a certain type of like energy of rage and whatever.
Okay.
And so they're a part of like the house, which is literally a giant fucking machine that comes to life and locks them all in with all of these ghosts.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, and she believes, and he has gained some kind of power.
Yeah, some people, though, for some reason go, oh, yes, and then you became a ghost and you have power. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I think people in real life can still pick up objects and throw them across a room or, like, bang open windows or... like, I would like to know...
A ghost can only open and close the door a couple times a day. Get very tired. That's not really a lot of power. I made the walls bleed, and I need to sleep for a week. All right, Susan, I made the walls bleed. You go slam the shutters, okay? I'm tired. I'm going to bed.
Now, I will say I don't know any people that can make the walls bleed without some big efforts, but still.
Technical, special effects guys. You're on?
We can.
You are
we
on.
We can.
Bleeding walls, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, but like how
But
frequently and how often?
Can you do it without preparation? No.
Yeah, exactly. And
But they theoretically have to prepare too, because they have to decide to do it and muster the power. So
that's fair. That's fair.
Just different kinds of preparations.
And just different prep.
Her eyes slide to the doors, the walls. She lifts her cup to her lips and take a long drag. A drag sounds like she's smoking, and takes. She lifts her cup to her lips and take a long drag. I think it's takes.
It probably takes.
But also drink? I've never heard drag in reference to something other than...
smoking?
Smoking.
Or inhaling something, basically, that is smoke, drug, something. It's not a drink.
It's always breath-related, so
Yes.
which is interesting. So this is an interesting usage.
Okay. He said that we would see everything he had gained soon. They'll probably be at the masquerade.
Question.
Why?
We have left the place, gone to a whole other part of the castle, and reconvened to talk about stuff.
Still naked.
And we still are wearing our bathrobes.
Yes.
Why?
Why not?
All right, why not? Good question. He's like, I look good, you look good, we're fine.
We're good.
We're good.
We're good.
Nadia, y'all walk around with 2 half-naked people, this is fine.
It's fine.
I'm also just like, I love the implication that depending on how you gender your MC, that you're walking around with chest and nipples exposed just like he is, and that's fine, which is appealing to me because it means that everyone's chest can be equally exposed no matter what their presentation in this game.
Yes.
Which, while that's never said on screen or actually approached, canonically, since you can be any gender in any presentation, it has happened.
And also
in this
the
case,
fact that when we did Nadia's scene, there was very much we're trying to hide your nipples because Goral nipples are still inappropriate.
Which is
in
funny.
the wider sphere, which is hilarious.
Now, the thing is that was drawn with her hair in the way for the people out here viewing it.
Yeah, no, I know.
But based on this, in the game, it's not a problem. In universe.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of fun because, again, Kohai is very busty. That's just how they're built. And so there is a lot of, like, chest to be seen in this gauzy robe.
Yes.
Which is fine. If everybody's comfortable with that, I think that's kind of cool. I think the implication of that is neat. This is not a problem in any way. I do, in fact, though, picture Portia eavesdropping on this through the painting, though, based on our other roots. She's like, I want to know what's going on. Pops open the eye holes. Woo! All right.
He'll probably be at the masquerade. Or he's lying. He doesn't seem to be able to change his shape. At least, not yet.
Did he say he was going to change his shape?
Also,
in any
what
way?
makes you think that he hasn't already changed his shape and he just likes being a goat?
Well, also, like, he doesn't seem to be
What?
able to change his shape. When was it ever in the equation that shape changing was 1, the power he had, 2, the thing he wanted, and 3, what he was going to do?
And also, again, why
Did he
the masquerade
say he was going to change
specifically?
shape? Did you purport that ghosts wish to change shape? Had he in his life suggested he wished to change shape? He said he hadn't gotten what he wanted yet, but did he say that was the way he looked? I don't remember that piece.
This is not,
At least not yet. It's fine.
But he knows how to hide. I imagine he won't come out again until his transformation is complete.
Is he transforming? How do you know this? Asra, I know you don't answer a lot of questions.
Also, Kohai. Excuse me, Asra. I thought you said he was afraid of death.
Yes. So,
because he doesn't like to transform.
Yeah, we said that the transformation card was bad, and yet you say now he's transforming, and that he wants to transform, and that he's on his way in a transformation, but you literally pulled his only tarot card that relates to him, and said this was the one he would hate because it means transformation. Sorry, I feel like you're contradicting yourself, which is something you do, and that's okay. But, like, in this case, it seems like it's in reference to someone else, and that's confusing.
Yeah, it's a bit.
So, he wants transformation, but he fears transformation. He's working on transformation, but transformation is the most hated thing he has. You are saying he is in conflict with himself, yes? I will try to extrapolate the wise answer from your confusing info.
Because you're the mentor character.
Yes, and clearly you want me to figure this out for myself. That is what this is about.
Yes, of course.
Complete.
Complete.
A chill passes over the parlor. Since it is hot and stuffy in here, I appreciate it. I mean, Nadia sets down her cup and rubs her temples. It is now still relatively untouched, even though she drank.
She just drank a
bit.
took a long sip.
She did.
She takes a long pull.
Yeah. It will be difficult to navigate the situation. We will need to avoid panic. Pain and panic!
Pain and panic! Reporting for today! Yes, and we don't know who we can trust.
I assume we can trust each other because here we are doing this.
We better trust each other because we're all in the same room.
And we are all
and
sharing...
also the ghost behind the portrait. I mean, the eyeballs behind the portrait. I mean...
the portrait's actually looking at us. Pep! The door closes immediately. There's a soft squeak.
But also, like, okay, so again, I keep asking the dumb question, don't I? I'm just like, why do you have to have the masquerade go on? You can cancel it for any fucking reason you want. And
It's
again,
yours.
as we still have pointed out, this place still hasn't recovered from
economic
value, or basically, like, it's like, so many parts of the city itself are fucking devastated.
It's true. And again, like, having a massive plague and no leadership is... Yeah, you're just falling into more and more economic and infrastructure disrepair.
Yeah, like, why would you throw a masquerade when nobody has any money?
Because bread and circuses.
I mean, if they would allude to that would be nice. Though I suppose Nadia kind of alludes to it in the other ones where she goes, we need to still distract people, maybe she'll bring it up here. But I still find that to be stupid, because I'm like, you said you wanted to be different. Don't throw the masquerade.
Well, different is we're throwing the masquerade for a different reason. And also we need to bring people together again and excite them about something they're familiar with, but do it differently. Maybe do a different activity. Maybe not the masquerade. Maybe throw a festival in the city itself.
Yeah, like...
Do something. No, but this is familiar. People know what this is. Also, the guests have already come. What am I going to do? Tell them you'll throw them a private banquet and turn everyone else away? I'm sorry, the masquerade is cancelled. Unforeseen circumstances. It happens.
Like, it does. Also, at the same time, too, based on actually the other routes, the people don't show up, actually, until, like, the day of. Which is hilarious.
Unless they're
planning.
siblings. Some of them show up.
Yeah, some of them show up earlier. Yep.
We don't know who we can trust.
But it's like the day before and then the day of.
Precisely. Some would call me naive, simply for trusting you. Both of us or just him?
Just him.
She fixes Asra with an inscrutable look from beneath her hand.
Because she's rubbing her
Because she's
forehead.
still rubbing her temples, her forehead. She's the place pinched between her brows. That one. She's
Yes.
rubbing her looks through her hand.
Which is actually cool, because they kept through with it.
Yes, that one followed through with posture.
Ah.
A point in their favor. A brisk knock. She did squeak and slam the portrait shut. I did a quick shove in the ribs, the door was about And Portia strolls into the room. Nydia clears her throat. Asra dusts off his lap. For reasons. And I straighten in my seat. I guess it's a nervous gesture. Does he have nervous gestures? Why
I
did
know
he
sometimes
do
when people
that?
come in, you go, oh, I have to rearrange yourself. Because it's literal, like, a physical representation of your mental, like, reorienting.
Is he straightening his skirt or brushing off his lap?
I assume that, like, since it becomes a part of your lap, you usually don't think of them as different. Like, I brush off my lap doesn't mean I'm brushing off necessarily
No, what
my
I mean
legs.
is-
I have pants on, too.
What I mean is, the act of I smooth or straighten my clothing so I look more presentable, I'm paying attention to you, versus I'm trying to remove crumbs from my garment. I'm brushing off something.
Uh-huh.
So that's I'm like, was it suggested that he was eating cookies with his tea? And he's got crumbs.
Like I said, it could just be a physical manifestation of a mind going, I need to reorient myself because now something unexpected has shown up. Like, I've just...
Sounds sort of like a nervous behavior, which doesn't sound like Astra.
Doesn't necessarily. I mean, that's the first time
If
he's done
he's
something
stressed,
like...
I'm stressed, okay?
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Jeez.
For the time being, I extend both of you my invitation to stay as guests. We weren't talking about anything amiss. Hello, Portia. You are, of course, welcome to leave. I advise you to stay as my guests. You are, of course, welcome to leave. Goodbye. I mean, you won't be captured yet. That might have been an awkward way to say. You can come and go as you please. You may also stay as my honored guests. But if something demands my attention, please, do not hesitate to find me. I was gonna read that backwards, such as if something demands my attention, I will not be able to attend to you or support you as guests. But in this case, it's the, you are gonna be my guest without my attention at all, but if something needs me, come get me. From someone.
I think that's supposed to be an implication of going, if another thing like Lucio...
Oh, and I
fucking-
get that. I was like, again, it just was a surprising way to put the sentence.
Especially since she
based on what
doesn't
just
also
happened.
use servants much. Even Portia much, which
Nope.
is very funny.
She kind of does everything herself, or someone else does it without her instruction or attention, or it just doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Your room is all ready, Asra. I'll take you there.
Huh.
I'm not stained with Gohai.
Why, my heart goes doki doki.
The dogs?
You are in the room next to theirs. They won't be far.
I also have goodies for each of you.
Gift baskets! It's gift basket time!
Why would you do this?
Ah, yes. I thought I might provide you both with something more festive to wear. Definitely more festive than a bathing robe.
Wait, is she giving us our masquerade outfits?
I believe she's going to be giving you your masquerade outfits,
Oh,
which
God.
means if she's doing that Asra didn't make his mask in this one.
No, he did not.
Unless she only gives him an outfit but not a mask, and then will it match?
That would be funny.
Gives him an outfit that looks like a condor or some shit. He's got a fox mask.
Honestly, that would be really... Because again, I'm like, okay, so my assumption is genuinely that they didn't go and they didn't make everybody new outfits for every single route.
I assume.
But that also is really weird, because then that means that Asra's is both one that he made himself and is also one that keeps coming from Nadia.
And again, he can still have made the mask himself at all times. But the idea that anything she would give him would match it is kind of funny. Like, what if she just thinks of him as, like, basically, you're pale and usually wearing pale, you know, sort of like your palette is pale, so I'll give you something like white and soft gold or silver to wear, and then you wear a red fox mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I
Just paint it like an Arctic fox, you'll be fine. Do I know what that is? I don't know.
probably not.
More festive.
I'm sure you picked well. You always put together the best looks.
My best look.
You always put together my best looks.
He has memories of her dressing him.
Whoa.
This is news.
That is...
I know they hung out together, but her picking out and dressing him in clothes, like, I will pick your wardrobe for you or your outfit for the day, that is a level of... a different type of friendship.
Yeah, that...
Interesting. And also he's like, oh, I'm so bad at fashion, you're a lot better than I am.
Which is always interesting, because I always felt like Asra didn't really care.
Maybe he's just trying to compliment Nadia's sense of style. Because
Or
maybe he doesn't
he's
care.
trying to help her remember that you picked clothes out for me.
I feel like she should respond. Whoa.
Whoa.
That looks deeply concerned. Were you mocking her?
Or do you mean like sometimes they were a little racy, but they were hot as hell?
Or something? Or it wasn't me, but it was stylish.
The best looks.
Deeply concerned.
That is quite
an experience.
Wow,
Also, like,
Asra.
I expect Nadia to now respond and go, did I? There we go. Excellent. Is that so? An enigmatic smile steals across the Countess's lips as Portia whisks us out of the parlor.
That seems like flirting. That seems like real heavy flirting of her going, no, I remember. Is that so? Because it wasn't really a question. It was is that so? Going, I had no idea it affected you that much.
I didn't know you. I hadn't thought about remembering it, but you have such... Really?
No, like, that's hardcore flirt.
That felt like a lot
cute.
of flirt. That was kind of cute.
Yeah.
Asra is only on the other side of the wall, I say as I dramatically lean against it, as you do in anime.
Boink.
But when we part ways, a wave of uncertainty sweeps over me. And we're going to have to find out what that wave of uncertainty is
in the next one. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and also share our videos. It actually does a lot for us in regards to YouTube algorithm for the liking and the commenting and everything. Like, super helpful. Really appreciate all the help addressed towards us so far. Yeah. Please also feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi, Patreon, and our Twitch. There are links in the description. We would love to see you there. And I have been Scandal.
Additionally, just recently, we put up our entire playthrough of the demo for Fireside Waltz, and while it might be an intimidating 6.5 hours long, I think anyone who likes this game will greatly enjoy it.
Yes.
It's extremely pretty, and of course, you know, the video will save your place if you walk away.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to go ahead and recommend that for specifically fans of this game, as in the might be relevant to your interests.
Yes.
And I have been Liz. And it was great playing with you. Bye!